In the small and beautiful village of Asuta, there lived two brothers, Akon and Bola. Akon was the first son of his parents, while Bola was the second son. Since Akon and Bola's parents were very poor farmers, the two brothers would always assist their parents on their farm almost every day. Between Akon and Bola, Akon was the most hardworking one. He would assist his parents without complaining and still help with chores at home. But Bola was different. If he worked for even an hour, he would complain bitterly and claim that his parents were punishing him. One day, Bola said something that really hurt his mother and made her cry. That day, Bola's mother had gone to wake Bola and Akon around 6 a.m. so they could leave for the farm. Instead of saying he didn't want to go with them, Bola abused his mother and said that he regretted being born into their family. As a result of that, their mother left the room in tears.
Bola, you have to go and apologize to Mama now.
Akon yelled at Bola after their mother left the room.
Apologize for what? Did I lie? I don't know why you are this stupid. Look at the poverty-stricken life we are living.
Bola yelled back.
It's not our parents' fault that they are poor and cannot provide for our needs. They work hard every day just to get us what we want,
Akon said.
Akon, let me ask you one question. When was the last time we ate 3 square meals a day in this house?
Bola said.
That's still not enough reason for you to talk to Mama like that. She and Papa are working tirelessly because of us,
Akon said.
You're a weakling. That is why you cannot speak up the truth. As for me, I have done enough. I'm no longer coming to that farm. I'm only 17 years old, yet my hands look like those of an old man,
Bola said. That day, Bola stopped following his parents to their farm and literally turned rebellious. He became very disobedient and didn't listen to his parents or older brother anymore. There was even one time when Bola openly challenged his father, and in anger, his father kicked him out of the house and warned him not to return until he changed his bad habits.
You call this hole a house? Are you not ashamed to call this a house?
Bola yelled at his father.
Bola, is it me you are talking to in that tone?
Bola's father asked.
Well, I will talk to you however I want. You don't deserve any respect. If you want respect, then do the things fathers are supposed to do for their sons,
Bola said aggressively.
I do not want to see you anywhere near this house. Since you are an ingrate and you claim that I haven't done anything for you, go and make your own money. You are a man too, and you are old enough to make your money,
Bola's father said.
You will see me in this village. You think I'm a pushover man like you, Papa? You will see what it truly means to be a man,
Bola said before leaving the house that day. Because of Bola's painful words and actions, even his mother could not beg on his behalf. Even Akon was shocked that Bola could exchange such words with his father, and he watched as Bola left the house with pride. After that day, no one saw Bola again. Out of fear that something bad had happened to him, Akon went around the village with his friends to look for Bola, but unfortunately, they could not find him. The only thing Akon heard was that Bola had gone to the city to stay with one of his friends. But since he didn't know the particular location in the city, or the friend Bola had gone to stay with, Akon gave up. 3 years after Bola was kicked out of the house, something tragic happened. One day, Akon's parents went to their farm as usual to do some weeding and clearing, and unfortunately, their mother was bitten by a snake. Before Akon's father could do something to save her or even take her to the village herbalist who could treat snake bites, she was already dead. Since Akon was the only son at home, the death of his mother really hit him hard. About a week after his mother's death, Akon went to the city to look for Bola. Even though he didn't know the exact place to find Bola, He believed he would get lucky in finding him, but unfortunately, he wasn't. After a few days of wandering in the city, Akon returned home to bury his mother. Surprisingly, 3 days after Akon returned from the city, Bola returned to the village. But something was different. It wasn't the same poor Bola who had left the village. Instead, he returned like a rich man driving in a big fancy car. That afternoon, Akon was sitting in his father's compound with some friends when Bola drove into the compound.
Bola, is this you?
Akon asked in shock as he hugged Bola.
Yes, it's me in the flesh.
Bola answered proudly.
Whose car is this?
Akon asked while admiring the car.
Oh, it's just one of my cars. This one is the smallest SF. You know the village road is bad, so I decided to bring a small car.
Bola bragged mildly.
One of your cars? What do you do? How were you able to buy such an expensive car?
Akon asked.
My brother, it's a long story. Let's just say that God has been merciful to me. That reminds me. Did you come to the city to look for me?
Bola said.
Oh yes, I did. After Mama died, I had to come and search for you.
Akon said.
What do you mean? Is Mama dead?
Bola asked.
Yes, so
we lost Mama. She was bitten by a snake while farming. Akon said in a sad tone.
Oh my God! Why is death so cold and wicked? Just when I was saying that I would come and take care of Mama and give her the life she deserves, the cold hands of death had to snatch her away from us.
Bola said. My brother, it has happened. God knows best. I have cried and I am tired of crying. I'm just glad that nothing bad happened to you because I was scared when I didn't hear from you for so long. Akon said.
I'm so happy you came to look for me. After I left, I was afraid to return after all the terrible things I said to Papa. So, if someone did not see me and tell me that you were looking for me, I'd still be thinking no one wants me.
Bola said. Bola, whatever happened was in the past. You should have come home. Every day, Mama would pray for your safety, and I wish you had just come home once to see her before she died, Akon said.
That is my only regret. At least, Papa is here, and I will take care of him,
Bola said. While Bola and Akon were still catching up, their father, who had gone out to see some of the village elders concerning the burial plan, returned and saw the exotic car parked in his compound.
Papa! Good afternoon!
Bola bowed his head to greet his father as soon as he saw him.
What are you doing here? Didn't I tell you never to set foot in my house again?
Their father yelled.
Papa, stop this now. Bola had been away for almost 3 years. You should be happy to see him, not asking him why he's here,
Akon said.
Akon, is that coming from you? Have you forgotten everything your brother said to me before he left?
Their father asked.
Papa, I'm sorry. I was young and naive then, and I regret my mistakes,
Bola said.
No, you don't. If you did, you would have come home a long time ago,
their father said.
Papa, please, let's not do this now. Mama is dead, and this isn't the time we should be fighting. Instead, we should unite as a family and scale through these trying times together,
Akon said.
You? Have you forgotten everything your brother said to me? I can't believe you are supporting him now,
their father said.
Papa, I'm not supporting anyone. I'm only saying that you should let sleeping dogs lie. Like Bola said, he was naive and spoke like a boy. He's mature now, and I'm sure he regrets everything he said.
Akon said.
Papa, I'm truly sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said.
Bola begged.
I'm only forgiving you because it is what your mother would have wanted me to do,
their father said.
Thank you, Papa.
Akon and Bola said in unison.
Papa, I bought some things for you,
Bola said as he rushed to his car to get some things from the boot.
Bola, is this your car?
Their father asked in shock.
Yes, Papa, it is.
Bola answered with a broad smile.
Bola, where did you get the money to buy this kind of big car?
Their father asked.
Papa, all I can say is that God has blessed your son. I have 2 more cars, and this one is the smallest among them.
Bola said.
Did you rob a bank or do anything illegal?
Their father asked in a concerned tone.
God forbid, Papa. I didn't do anything illegal. I worked hard and God blessed my hustle.
Bola answered.
If you are not lying to me, then this is good,
their father said. Shortly after Bola gave his father the things he had bought for him, the 3 of them went inside the house and settled in the living room.
Papa, now that I am here, I would love to know the burial preparations you have made for Mama,
Bola said.
My son, you know I am a poor farmer and I do not have a lot of money to host a big burial party for your mother. The elders and I have agreed to do something small so she can finally rest in peace,
their father answered.
No, Papa, that's not happening. Now that I am here, we will cancel such plans. My mother suffered a lot while she was alive, so she cannot still be buried as a pauper. We will throw a big party for Mama's burial and we will invite everyone to attend, including the people who mocked us in this village,
Bola said. But Bola, where will we get the money from? You know that throwing a big party is very expensive. And like Papa said, we are poor people,
Akon said. Don't worry about the money, Akon. I will take care of that. I told you I am a wealthy man now, so money is the least of our worries. We should be aiming at throwing the kind of party no one has ever done in this village,
Bola said.
My son, I have heard you, but if you don't mind me asking, what kind of work do you do? You sound like you own a big company in the city, and I am curious to know how you accumulated your wealth within a few years,
their father said.
Papa, I was even waiting for when you'd ask me. No, I don't have any company in the city, but I deal in exchange and trading,
Bola lied.
Exchange and trading?
His father asked in a confused tone.
Is it the same thing as buying and selling?
He added.
Exactly! Just that we deal in foreign currencies like dollars, pounds, euros and the rest.
Bola lied.
That's very good. I always knew that you had an eye for business. Don't worry, my son. You will be very successful. And your older brother will be successful too,
their father said.
Amen, Papa.
Bola and Akon answered in unison.
Regarding your mother's burial, which is around the corner, I will go back to the elders and tell them that there has been a change of plans,
their father said.
Please, tell them, Papa. I cannot allow my mother to be buried as a pauper. I am ready to spend whatever amount to make sure that she gets a befitting burial,
Bola said. 2 days after Bola had the discussion with Akon and their father went to the elders to tell them about the change of plans, and they all began to make new preparations for the burial. 3 weeks after Bola returned to the village, he buried his mother in grand style. Not only did Bola throw a big lavish party for his mother's burial, but he also bought and buried her in the most expensive coffin. Instead of normal wood, the coffin was made from very expensive wood, and its entire body was designed with gold. This alone caused the entire village to talk about the burial for weeks. Also, there was plenty of food and drinks at the burial. In fact, there was so much food that the villagers could not finish eating everything, and some had to be thrown away. Bola also hired 3 different live bands to entertain people until the end of the day. 3 days after his mother's burial, Bola called Akon and their father, and he told them that he would be returning to the city the following day.
Why are you leaving so soon? I thought you would stay here with us for another week or 2,
their father said.
No, Papa. I can't do that. If I leave my work for that long, it will crash,
Bola said.
But Bola, can't you stay until the weekend? I know you have been with us for some days now, but considering that you haven't been home for years, I think you should spend more time with us,
Akon said.
My brother, I understand you, but you know how business is. If you are not physically available, your employees can run it to the ground, and I cannot afford that to happen. If it is about spending more time with you guys, I can visit the village every 2 weeks, so you won't miss me too much,
Bola said.
If you will do that, then there is no problem,
their father said.
Thank you, Papa. I will be leaving very early tomorrow morning. In fact, before the cock crows, I will already be on my way. I know you might be sleeping by the time I leave tomorrow. That's why I wanted to give you this,
Bola said as he stretched 2 bundles of money to his father and 1 bundle to Akon.
Bola, is this for me?
Their father asked excitedly.
Yes, Papa. This is for you. Don't worry. You can spend it as much as you like. I will send you more money every week,
Bola said.
Thank you so much, Bola. I don't even know how to repay you for all your kind deeds,
Akon said.
You don't need to repay me, Akon. Just take good care of Papa for me,
Bola said.
Don't worry. I will try my best,
Akon said with a broad smile.
My son, for making me proud and honoring your mother the way you did. May my God continue to bless you. You will not lack or fail in your business. God will bring more rich clients your way. Amen,
their father said.
Amen, Papa. Thank you very much. I want to go to bed now. You know that my journey is very far and I need enough rest,
Bola said before leaving Akon and their father. While Bola retired to his room, Akon and their father remained in the living room to count the money Bola had gifted them.
Bola, God will bless you for me. At least, I will use some of this money to settle my debts,
Akon soliloquized. The next morning, around 4:30 a.m., Bola left for the city. He didn't even inform anyone that he was about to leave. He just took off. By the time Akon woke up, he had already left. Just like Bola had promised, he would send back money and lots of foodstuff to his father every week. Aside from that, he also visited home twice a month. Because of Bola's generosity to Akon and their father, Akon did not have to labor too much on the farm. He only worked when he chose to because he knew he had a steady money source. On the other hand, their father retired early and spent most of his time hanging out with his friends. He no longer farmed because Bola was taking good care of him and providing him with all his needs. In addition, Bola had also told him to stop working and rest more because of his old age. As a result, Akon and his father became the talk of the village. Some of the villagers, especially those who used to look down on Akon and his parents, were angry that Akon and his father looked very healthy, wore nice and fancy clothes, and spent money lavishly even when they stopped working. Out of envy and jealousy, some of the villagers began to spread rumors that Bola was involved in something illegal in the city, which gave him the privilege of sending so much money to his family every week. The first time Akon heard one of the villagers gossiping about Bola, he confronted the person and warned him never to spread such lies about Bola again. Unfortunately, 3 years after Akon and Bola buried their mother, tragedy struck again. Their father died in his sleep. By this time, Akon was already married to a very beautiful woman and they had a 6-month-old baby. 2 days after their father died, Bola returned to the village to start the burial preparations. Since their father was quite old, Akon and Bola did not take too long before they buried him. As expected, Bola threw a big party for his late father and invited all the villagers to attend, just as he did with his mother's burial. A week after their father's burial, Bola invited Akon and his new wife to a meeting.
Akon, now that Papa is no more, you are the only family I have left and I do not want anything to happen to you.
Bola said, "Don't worry, my brother. Nothing will happen to me. I am still very young and I will take good care of myself," Akon said.
That being said, I don't want you or your wife to do anything. I am rich enough to take good care of you both and your daughter. Also, it is because of you guys that I work very hard every day.
Bola said,
I don't understand you. Are you saying that my wife should stop selling at the market?
Akon asked.
Yes, she should. She has a rich brother-in-law and I don't want her to stress herself one bit. Instead, you both should stay home and care for my niece.
Bola said. Brother Bola, I have heard you, but I have been selling in the market my whole life and stopping might be hard, Akon's wife said.
How much do you make in a day as profit?
Bola asked. I make around 5,000 to 10,000 naira daily, Akon's wife answered.
I will pay you 30,000 naira every day so you stay home and care for your baby,
Bola said. Ah, really? Akon's wife asked excitedly.
Yes, and I will also add some upkeep money for my niece. She's like my daughter and I want her to have the best life. Ask your husband how much we suffered as children and he will tell you. I am only doing this because I don't want my niece to go through the same thing I did,
Bola said.
My brother, thank you very much. You are indeed a good brother and I don't care what evil rumors people are spreading about you. When Papa was alive, most of the villagers complained about our easy lives and even called us cowards. But right now, I don't mind. They can call me whatever they want,
Akon said.
Akon, forget about the villagers. If they had someone like me in their family, they would even do worse. Let people say what they want to say. See, I don't care. My priority now is you, your wife and my niece. You guys are the only family I have left,
Bola said.
Thank you so much, my brother.
We are very grateful for your love, Akon said.
Just do as I have said. Relax and enjoy. Then take good care of your child, Bola said. That reminds me. I will be leaving for the city tomorrow, he added. I thought as much. I remember when you called for a meeting after Mama's burial and then you traveled the next day, Akon said. Yes, you are right. As much as I wouldn't want to leave, I just have to. There is an important business I need to take care of in the city,
Bola lied. Very early the next morning, Bola traveled to the city and as usual, he didn't inform anyone before his departure. Honey, did your brother tell you before he left this morning? Akon's wife asked. No, he didn't. You know we stayed late to chat and drink last night, so I don't think he wanted to wake me up, Akon explained. That's fine. I had a very strange dream last night and I don't understand what I saw, Akon's wife said.
What did you see? Akon asked.
It's really strange. So, I dreamt that your brother, Bola, came into our room and removed Bisi from her baby cot. Then he replaced her with bundles of money, Akon's wife said.
That's a very weird dream. Are you sure he was not playing with her?
Akon asked. I'm not a baby now. I know what I saw. Your brother was not smiling in that dream. He just barged into our room, removed Bisi from her baby cot, dropped some bundles of money in the cot and took Bisi away. The very awkward part is that I tried to stop him in that dream because it felt like he wanted to harm Bisi. But I was paralyzed and I couldn't move my body, Akon's wife said.
Might be one of your malaria symptom dreams. Did you at least check on Bisi this morning? Is she fine?
Akon asked. Yes, I did. She is fine. I just hope that dream doesn't mean anything because I'm afraid. You know the rumors the villagers have been spreading about your brother, Akon's wife said.
Oh, now you remember what the villagers have been saying. Why didn't you ask him yesterday if he was really into money rituals? You women, you are just so ungrateful. So after all the money Bola gave you and our child yesterday, you still think evil of him?
Akon said. It's not like I think evil of him. I'm just trying to be careful. No mother would see a scary dream like that and not be scared for her child, Akon's wife said.
Don't worry, babe. Bola is not who people say he is. He works very hard to make money in the city, and we should even be happy that he is family-oriented,
Akon said. I have heard you, my husband. I am so happy he has asked us to stop working and look after Bisi. God bless him, and grant him a safe journey back to the city, Akon's wife said.
Amen, oh. Honestly, if not for Bola, I don't know what would have become of me. You remember how he contributed so much to our wedding? If it were just me, how would I have paid for such a fancy and lavish wedding?
Akon said. Hey, you are right, my husband. Your brother is a good man and you are lucky to have him. In this village, there are brothers killing each other for pieces of land, but yours is more concerned about your comfort and the welfare of your family, Akon's wife said.
Now you see,
Akon said confidently. Let me go and make breakfast before Bisi wakes up, Akon's wife said before exiting the room. Sadly, while Akon and his wife were happy that they wouldn't have to work again, they had no idea their lives were about to turn upside down. Exactly 3 days after Bola traveled back to the city, something terrible happened. All of a sudden, Akon's 6-month-old daughter suddenly became ill. At first, it started with a rise in temperature, which got so bad that she began to drool and act differently. When Akon's wife noticed that Bisi was not feeling fine, she thought she could reduce her temperature by pressing her body with a towel and cold water. But when that did not work, they were forced to take her to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctors managed to normalize Bisi's temperature, only to discover another severe issue. Are you Bisi's mother? One of the doctors asked Akon's wife after examining Bisi.
Yes, she's her mother,
Akon answered without delay.
And you must be her father,
the doctor said.
Yes, I am. Doctor, please tell me that everything is all right,
Akon said. Please come with me to my office. We need to discuss something important. the doctor said before leading Akon and his wife to his office.
Sir, Ma, I'm afraid I have bad news. After I examined your daughter, it's sad to say that she's showing signs of Down syndrome, and I don't think there's anything we can do to stop it,
the doctor said.
What do you mean by Down syndrome? Is she going to be fine?
Akon's wife asked.
No, she is not,
the doctor answered.
Doctor, please, can you explain what you mean by Down syndrome?
Akon said.
Sir, it means that your daughter is going to be retarded. She might not grow up to be normal like other children,
the doctor explained.
Do you mean like an imbecile?
Akon's wife asked.
Yes, exactly.
People who are called imbeciles have Down syndrome, the doctor answered.
Oh my God! I am done for!
Akon's wife jumped up and screamed dramatically.
My enemies have caught up with me! Oh! Hey! They will laugh at me!
Akon's wife cried.
Ma, please calm down. It's not the end of the world.
Things like this happen all the time.
Also, you might be lucky that hers is not so severe. If you can take good care of her, I'm sure it will not be that bad. She's still human,
the doctor said.
But we didn't notice anything when she was born. Why now?
Akon asked.
Sir, these things usually take months to show. So even if we didn't notice it now, you would have noticed it in the next few months,
the doctor explained.
So, can we go with her now? How is she doing?
Akon asked.
Yes, she will be discharged this evening. Do not let this shake you. She is still your child. Just try your best to take good care of her,
the doctor said.
Later that evening, shortly after the hospital discharged Bisi, her parents took her home.
The whole time they were on their way home, Akon's wife was in tears.
What do we do now?
Akon's wife asked.
You heard what the doctor said. We have to take good care of her,
Akon answered.
Why is God so partial? I prayed every day while I was pregnant with BC to keep the evil eye and enemies away. But none of that prayer worked.
Akon's wife cried.
Babe, crying will not solve this problem. We should focus more on praying to God to cure her,
Akon said.
To even think that your brother told us to stop working and rest at home. What if he didn't give us some money? How would we handle this situation now?
Akon's wife asked.
My wife, God knows best. Who knows? Maybe God touched Bola's heart to do what he did,
Akon said.
Have you even called to tell him what the doctor said?
Akon's wife asked.
No, not yet. I will call him once we get home. You know it's not something that can be discussed on the road. You never can tell who is listening,
Akon said.
You're right. Let's get home first,
Akon's wife said.
Later that evening, when Akon and his wife arrived home, Akon called Bola to share the bad news. Upon hearing that his niece had been diagnosed with Down syndrome, Bola promised to send them more money so they could comfortably take care of Bisi without any stress. As the years passed and Bisi grew older, her parents realized that she didn't just have Down syndrome, but she was dumb too. As a baby, Bisi's cries sounded different, but her parents didn't pay much attention to it until they realized she could not speak. Because of her difference, Akon and his wife refused to enroll Bisi in any school and they homeschooled her instead. Thankfully, Bola's financial support didn't stop coming. In fact, Bola was even more generous than he used to be.
Each time he visited the village, he would go with bags of rice, clothes, shoes and other foodstuffs for Bisi. However, even though Bisi had Down syndrome and was dumb, she was still a smart child. From a young age, she could recognize her father, mother, neighbors and even her uncle Bola. But something was wrong. Whenever Bola visited the village and he tried to talk to Bisi or even touch her, Bisi would run away from him and she would avoid him until he traveled back to the city. Every time Bisi did this, her father Akon would get angry at her.
Bisi, come and say hello to your uncle,
Akon said. That day, Bola had dropped by the village to visit Akon, and as soon as Bisi saw his car drive into the compound, she ran into the room.
Don't mind her. Maybe she's still shy. When she grows older, she will get used to me.
Bola defended her.
Must she see you 1,000 times before she gets used to you? You are her uncle, for crying out loud. If she can play and be friendly with the neighbors, why can't she be friendly with you?
Akon said angrily.
Papa Bisi, it's Bisi we are talking about. Do not forget. Sometimes you see how she acts with me.
Akon's wife said.
Just give her time. She will get used to her uncle.
She added.
There's no problem. She should just know that she has only one uncle. So the earlier the better,
Akon said. After several times of Bisi running away from her uncle, Akon and his wife believed that she would eventually stop running away from him. But things got worse. It even reached a point where Bisi refused to show her face to her uncle whenever he visited. About a week after Bisi's 7th birthday, something very shocking happened. That Saturday afternoon, Bisi was playing alone in her room when she decided to play with her old baby cot. While trying to set it up so she could place her doll in it, Bisi made a shocking discovery. She found a bundle of money with sprinkles of blood on it inside her baby cot, and she took the bundle of money to her mother who was cooking in the kitchen.
Where did you find this?
Her mother asked in shock. To her greatest surprise, Bisi answered, Bisi stammered. That was the first time Bisi spoke, and when her mother heard her, she couldn't stop screaming in joy.
Bisi, what did you say?
Her mother asked again.
I found it in my baby cot,
Bisi answered. Immediately after Bisi answered again, her mother jumped on the floor and began to roll dramatically. Then she called Akon on the phone and told him to come home immediately. When Akon heard the urgency in his wife's voice, he immediately rushed home because he was afraid that something terrible had happened.
Mama Bisi, what is it? Why did you sound that way on the phone?
Akon asked as soon as he entered his house.
It's Bisi, oh!
Akon's wife said excitedly.
What about Bisi?
Akon asked.
Your daughter can speak!
Akon's wife said.
Are you serious? What did she say? How did you know she can speak?
Akon asked all at once.
Bisi, come and tell your father what you told me!
Akon's wife said.
I found the money in my old baby cot,
Bisi said. Immediately after Bisi said that, Akon hugged her tightly and began to cry.
So my daughter can now speak.
Akon soliloquized as he shed tears of joy.
Where's the money she said she found?
Akon asked.
Here it is,
Akon's wife said as she gave the money to Akon.
Why is there blood on it?
Akon asked in shock.
I don't know. That's how she brought it to me,
Akon's wife answered.
I have a bad feeling about this. Let's burn it,
Akon said.
That's exactly what I wanted to say,
Akon's wife said. Without wasting time, Bisi and her parents went to the backyard and set the money ablaze. Immediately the money was burnt to ashes. Something strange happened. Bisi fell to the floor and passed out, but when her parents managed to revive her, every sign of Down syndrome disappeared, and even her drooling stopped.
Bisi, are you okay?
Akon asked.
Yes, Dad, I'm fine. I feel very different,
Bisi said.
Wait, you're no longer drooling or twisting your arms like you used to,
Bisi's mother said.
Thank you, Lord. You have finally heard my prayers today.
Bisi's mother added in a teary voice.
Babe, this calls for celebration. I don't even know how to explain this. Let me call Bola immediately and tell him what has happened,
Akon said.
Yes, please. Call him and share the good news,
Akon's wife said.
No, Mommy. Don't call Uncle Bola. I don't like him,
Bisi said.
Why? Your uncle is a very good person. Why don't you like him?
Akon asked.
I see him in my dream every night, and he keeps punishing me if I do not do what he tells me to do,
Bisi said.
I don't understand you. What does your uncle tell you to do?
Bisi's mother asked.
Every night, he gives me a big basket to fill it with water. And when I don't do that, he punishes me,
Bisi said.
Is that why you run away from him every time you see him?
Akon asked.
Yes! He knows why I run away,
Bisi answered. From Bisi's shaky tone, her parents could tell she was afraid of Bola, but they didn't really understand what Bisi's dream meant.
That's strange. I will call your uncle to come to the village, but I will not tell him you can speak,
Akon said.
Oh, okay,
Bisi said in a shaky voice. That day, Akon called Bola and invited him to the village, but he didn't mention Bisi. The following day, Bola arrived at Akon's compound, but as soon as he entered the parlor and saw Bisi in perfect health, something very shocking happened. Suddenly, Bola began to yell as if someone was hitting him, and then he began to beg an invisible being.
I'm sorry. I will confess,
Bola said repeatedly.
Confess to what?
Akon asked in shock.
I will confess. I will say, I will confess. I say I will confess. Oh, stop beating me, please. Stop. It's okay. It's okay. It's paining me.
Bola continued to scream.
Bola, what do you want to confess to? What did you do?
Akon's wife asked.
I am responsible for Mama's death.
Bola said.
Which Mama?
Akon asked in a confused tone.
I used her for money rituals. I was the one who sent the spiritual snake to bite her and kill her,
Bola said.
Bola! What did you do?
Akon yelled.
They told me they would make me rich if I sacrificed the one I love the most. So I had to sacrifice Mama,
Bola said.
So what the villagers say is true,
Akon's wife said.
I also killed Papa. It was time to renew my sacrifice, so I had to choose between you and Papa,
Bola said.
Bola, how could you? You killed Papa,
Akon said in a teary voice.
I'm sorry. I had no other option. It had to be you or him,
Bola said.
You are so wicked. I cannot believe you did such a thing. Our parents loved you even more than they loved me, Akon said. I'm sorry. Please, tell Bisi to forgive me,
Bola said.
Bisi! What did you do to Bisi?
Akon's wife yelled.
I also wanted to use Bisi for money rituals. That's why I made her sick first. But then her spirit was too strong.
Bola said.
Ha! Bola! Are you responsible for my daughter's sickness?
Akon yelled.
I'm so sorry. This was not the plan. No one was supposed to find the money. I didn't even put the money physically.
Bola said.
Bola, you have finished me,
Akon said.
I will tell the whole village who you truly are, so you could do this to your own niece,
Akon added.
Akon, I'm sorry. Please help me beg this spirit. It wants to kill me. Please.
Bola said.
It should kill you because you do not deserve to be alive. How could you be so evil? Mama did nothing wrong, but you ended her life and had the effrontery to throw a befitting burial for her.
Akon cried.
Please, help me.
Bola cried. Suddenly, something mysterious happened. Bola's voice ceased and he struggled to speak, but no sound could be heard. The next thing, he fell on the floor and began to convulse. Then, he died. Even after Bola died, Akon and his wife could not get over the shock. A few days later, Akon paid some boys to dig a grave, and then they wrapped Bola's body in a mat and threw it into the grave. Eventually, Akon was forced to relocate to a nearby village with his family to start life afresh because he could not stand the harsh words of the jealous villagers after his brother's demise. As for Bisi, she grew up to be a very beautiful girl, and she never experienced symptoms of Down syndrome again and stayed healthy until her old age. The end. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite parts in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.